Tune into Nice Radio every Saturday at 7:30 a.m. for A View from the Outside, hosted by Brereton Horne. A View from the Outside takes a look at key issues affecting St. Vincent and the Grenadines and gives a global perspective on how these issues are viewed. Host Brereton Horne will examine a variety of topics to enlighten, stimulate debate, and explore solutions. Hear the facts, hear the real-life stories, hear A View from the Outside. Join Brereton Horne at 7:30 a.m. every Saturday on Nice Radio for A View from the Outside.
This society needs a spectacle. It might help us to see some evil. This society needs a spectacle.
On A View from the Outside this week being the 9th of July 2022, we focus our discussion on honesty and integrity, acknowledging that these are two of the principles which are central to those who hold public office. On the 9th of April 2022, we looked at the 7 principles of public life, principles often referred to as the Nolan Principles. And we emphasized then how important it is for those who hold public office to uphold each and every one of those principles. As a reminder, this morning, the 7 principles in the order we covered them are selflessness, integrity, objectivity, accountability, openness, honesty, and leadership. For those who missed that program or any of our other programs, you can, of course, catch up on our YouTube channel at JMB Horne or our Facebook page at A View from the Outside. Today, we have chosen to redouble the focus on honesty and integrity. We have been triggered to do so in light of what transpired in the United Kingdom since we covered that topic on the 9th of April 2022. And also since we covered the topic distressed and disappointed on the 25th of June 2022. When we covered distressed and disappointed on the 25th of June 2022, we did so because we were triggered by the contents of a resignation letter by Oliver Dowden, the then chairman of the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom, when he expressed his grave concern with Prime Minister Boris Johnson and what was unfolding in the Conservative Party and throughout the United Kingdom. Since Oliver Dowden's resignation just over 2 weeks ago, events have moved on apace, and Boris Johnson was forced to resign as leader of the Conservative Party and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, although he remains as Prime Minister until a new leader is elected by the Conservative Party. It is those events which have unfolded in recent days, which gripped the world almost soap opera-like, which have caused us here on A View from the Outside to refocus on honesty and integrity in today's program. During those events, 59 of Boris Johnson's own MPs handed him resignation letters stating that they have lost confidence in him being Prime Minister and that they cannot serve under him. Most notable among those resignations are Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the equivalent of the Minister of Finance as we know it in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Sajid Javid, the Secretary of State for Health, or the Minister of Health as we know it in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The central theme of all 59 of those resignation letters is that honesty and integrity are both important pillars of decency in the holders of public office, and that they didn't think that those were qualities which were exhibited by Boris Johnson. Here's a brief excerpt from Sajid Javid's letter. I quote, "I am instinctively a team player, but the British people also rightly expect integrity from their government. The tone you set as leader and the values you represent reflect on your colleagues, your party, and ultimately the country," unquote. And here's a brief excerpt from Rishi Sunak's letter. "The public rightly expect the government to be conducted properly, competently, and seriously. I recognize this may be my last ministerial job, but I believe these standards are worth fighting for, and that is why I am resigning." The evidence on social media and elsewhere show that Vincentians, both at home in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in the Vincentian diaspora, have been watching the unfolding events in the United Kingdom. The vast majority were in praise of the ministers of government who ditched Boris Johnson and resigned from his government. The vast majority, too, were in condemnation of Boris Johnson and his rancid leadership in government. Many branded him dishonest, and many said that he lacks integrity. Many, too, urged the ministers of government at home in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to take a page out of the book of those in the United Kingdom. We, here on A View from the Outside, have chosen to remind everyone in the public and everyone who hold public office in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, including and particularly the ministers of government. We encourage you to understand and to know that there are standards in public life which must be adhered to. We encourage you to seek out the Nolan principles, the principles of public life. Study them and adhere to them. We remind you that honesty and integrity are central facets of the Nolan principles. With regard to honesty, the principle simply states that holders of public office should be truthful. Tell the truth so that people can trust you and believe what you say. It is so important. Pertaining to integrity, the principle states that the holders of public office must avoid placing themselves under any obligation to people or organization that might try to inappropriately influence their work. They should not act or take decisions in order to gain financial or other benefits for themselves, their family, or their friends. They must declare and resolve any interest and relationship. This principle, integrity, guards against corruption. It is clear that without integrity, corruption becomes rife and the standards in public life will hit rock bottom. It is heartening to see that so many Vincentians are so engaged and involved with the events in the United Kingdom. We hope that such engagement is transferred fully to the local setting at home in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we hope that the spotlight will now be shone fully on those who hold public office in our country. We hope that the call for standards in public life, including honesty and integrity, will ring out across every village and every town in the country. St. Vincent and the Grenadines can do better. St. Vincent and the Grenadines must do better. St. Vincent and the Grenadines deserves better. Until next week, this is Brereton Horne with a view from the outside, with a reminder to send your feedback as usual to aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. We also invite you to visit and like our Facebook page at A View from the Outside, and also to subscribe to our YouTube channel at JMB Horne. Justin, you and all of the listeners have a pleasant Saturday, have a wonderful Sunday, and have a productive week ahead as we all endeavor to keep the focus on honesty and integrity.